Hi, and welcome to my life. This is Kismet the Feral Grandma. I'm here with Dyson, the little bitty tiny dog. Chihuahuas are that way. Hi, buddy. How you doing? It is Tuesday morning, a little bit early, and kind of overcast. We usually have some sun. If it starts to rain, I'm going to have to grab a really delicate little poisonous flower over here and take it inside, along with the avocado seedling and the citrus of some kind. And since the red truck is running, I might need to run it around later and see if we can get the last couple of codes to set. It might not even take much to do it. I should take the little dog with me. He hasn't been for a ride in a little while. Even little tiny dogs sometimes need to go for a ride, just not to the vet. They need to remember that they like car rides. And he's over here like, don't know what you're talking about. Huh, buddy? Yeah. It's a little cool out, but little dogs need to get out sometimes. It's below 70, but not by much. Which means it's going to be above 70 later. And if the cloud cover burns off, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's also fine. Lots of trees are starting to show a little haze of green on their bare winter branches. So maybe my insane blueberry in the big pot that needs straightened up, maybe it'll be okay. I think the garbage truck is almost done going around the whole neighborhood. I heard some big engine and brake noises across the way. They've already been down my street, so my bin's already brought back and locked up. What? You should say hi to the internet, not just look at my thumb. I don't feel so bad having him on camera occasionally. Even Bart K gets his dogs on camera. This guy doesn't flail around as much, though, when I'm holding him. He'll definitely wiggle a little bit if he wants down. It is still pretty early. It's not even quite 9:30 yet. So I won't be eating anytime soon. I'm dressed, so I could go to the store. But I couldn't take the little dog if I do that. Oh, buddy. Oh, well. But it's Tuesday, and daughter went and took her boys to school. I don't know if she's shopping later or going to the gym, but whatever she's doing, she's already doing it. Two nights in on sleeping on a grounding sheet. I don't see any problem with it yet. started a load of wash. Because no matter what else goes on in my life or what I eat, all the normal parts of life have to happen. You gotta do laundry. If you eat, you have to wash some kind of dishes. And maybe a pan or two, unless you're eating everything raw. And the trash has to go. I've already mentioned that. And sometimes you gotta go buy stuff. Getting low on beef hot dogs and out of a bunch of other stuff. But I have a nice package of oxtail chunks I could put on. And that would line up my meal for later. And it's another one of those things, I'm the only one here that eats it. I can't for anything figure out why. And they all chow down on ground meat as if it's just the most wonderful thing ever invented. Lots of carnivores do when it comes to the ground beef. I can understand eating the ground beef because at least it's giving you what you need. I'm not going to waste my time on ground turkey. I might roast a turkey. I might air fry a turkey. Oh, there's a thing I've mentioned before. I mean, right here I've got the grill and rotisserie. And on the other side of the front deck, I've got the smoker. The electric smoker with multiple racks. It's a great place to do 2 or even 3 briskets at a time. And yes, Texans will do that. We are exactly that crazy. Now down here, we have the Charbroil Big Easy. It's got a basket. Your turkey goes into the basket. And the propane heat happens outside the inner cage and inside this outer cage. And this lid comes down. And you hook it up to a big propane can. Now we also have a little Weber Q100 or whatever it is. And I like it, but it needs cleaned up. And it's handy for on the go. We've taken it with us when we've been using the RV and stuff. And if you want to do your cooking in something that's got a firebox, we've got a big char griller. And it's also got a work surface on one side. The firebox is on the other side. And then whatever's getting smoked goes in here. Now Loki did modify this one. From this chimney, see if you just use it as built, the smoke will come straight up and across the top of this chamber and not really get around your food very much. We were disappointed with that. So he added an internal extension dropping the bottom of the chimney so that the smoke, just like in a house fire, starts filling in up at the top and then comes down. Now, it's also got one temperature gauge that it comes with. So, he installed 2 right down low by the grate. Been a while since we used that one. And the lid on the firebox is kind of getting rusty. But I've mentioned the Big Easy before. It's a great way to do a turkey without having a giant pot of boiling water in the, not boiling water, boiling oil in the yard. And worse, some people have had giant pots of boiling oil in their garages and not knowing what they were doing. And fill it up, get the oil really going to the right temperature, then lower a cold and slightly, maybe still has some frost clinging to it, turkey into the oil and wonder why it boils over. Do they never deep fry anything? I don't know. But too many house fires have occurred because people were idiots about how to fry a turkey. And if you're in the South, you're going to do that sooner or later. Or we'll be invited to come over and eat. Oh, the clover is starting to bloom. And something else with tiny star-shaped purple flowers. Bunnies might be coming around looking for meals soon. Especially when agricultural stuff is going on in the fields. What's the matter, puppy dog? You got this much clover and other edible things. You're gonna have rabbits. Come on, puppy. Come on. It's a good thing you listen sometimes, or I'd have to leash you all the time. Now, I told the boy that those wild carrots are a 2-year plant, but I am not seeing any more mature ones. So Loki and the boys must be doing a pretty good job of mowing the tops to keep them from seeding. I might just have to find a bag of seed to put down. I don't know if that's going to matter. I'm definitely seeing small ones come up. Let's try to get this lined up. These are the beautiful kind of bluish flowers that I've mentioned on my post before. I think I dug a picture out and posted it. I see snails down in there. That's probably not good for them. Come on, puppy. Dyson, come on. He really is a good boy. He's a very good boy. How you doing, buddy? Gotta smell something over here. Actually, this one that was not very visible before might be a 2nd-year carrot. I don't know. See a few weeds down there under the steps, but that's okay. Where is the counter? Oh, just about 14 minutes in. Hold on to the wall. Ooh, yeah. What's the matter, puppy? He's ready for me to go in now. He likes when I'm on the couch. I'll put on Netflix and watch Korean TV shows. And he'll just curl up and be my buddy all day. But I'm actively trying to do better. Rebuild my brain. Get everything back where it belongs. Because you don't want to have any holes in there. So, some of the cooking options. And there is running water outside. I've got the front tap over there. Usually just has garden hose on it. It's not, we don't have anything plumbed to the house. If I was on a larger piece of private property, I would totally have 2 kitchens, and one of them would be entirely outside. Covered as much as reasonable because, oh, there's a cardinal. I like birds. I don't usually get cardinals in the yard. They are related to jays, and jays and cardinals tend to be bullies. So my dad doesn't like them as much. They're pretty, but they're bullies. It's small. He might be a juvenile. Might be looking for a first mate. I just saw some others going somewhere. Very definitely red. Yep. They've got to get paired up and ready for nesting season and get their eggs in so they can start raising babies. Now, cold months of the year, you still see the local hawks and eagles out and about and everything. And the eagles, they take a little while getting their markings. But I have seen at least one, possibly 2 bald eagles over here east of Georgetown. And I'm hoping nobody gets too fussy about them because it's better just to leave them alone. Let them build where they're going to build. And raise their young. But if they nest somewhere that people notice them flying in and out of a given area, and there's an area down 29 a ways that's going to become park. We'll find out, I don't know. But it's supposed to become a park. It might just belong to the county until the county says we'll get more out of this if we make taxed property out of it. No telling. But I think that was the condition of the donation, that it had to become a park. Because there's really not much on this side of the county to go do unless you're going to something that's in the park system or at the expo center over in Taylor. I'm going to drive across the other side of the county. There's a Corps of Engineers park out that way. There's more than one. But I need places for fishing because I haven't been camping much lately. And I'll admit it, I like camping with power. In case I want to plug something in, like my phone. That's a different color of red. Oh well. See my antennas up there. And that's all internet, it's not TV. But a lot of our TV comes in over the internet, so go figure. And a booster for bringing more cell phone signal into the houses. There's internet booster. Now, more people need boosters, especially if they notice they have non-signal areas in their home. Basically, you put an antenna assembly of some kind outside the house, and you run a wire where weather stripping or other construction details make it possible to bring it in. And then you have a little unit that sits inside your home. And then you've got the signal from outside getting in through the walls, which is great when you live in a little metal box. It's not that little, it's 72 feet long, but it's still pretty much a little metal box. I keep saying little and the dog thinks I mean him. Is it time to go in, buddy? Do you need your water bowl or your food? If you're gonna sniff around like that, you can go sniff dandelions. It's okay. It's okay, I'm watching you. You want up here again? You wanna come sit by me? There you go. You just wanted next to me? You're a sweet little boy. He still doesn't look at the camera very much. It's like, Mommy, you're talking to that thing in your hand instead of talking to a little dog. Yep, gotta talk to a little dog. Or a cat, or something. Something that gives you a little impetus. A little motivation to get off the couch and get outside where there's some sunshine. Even if it's a little muted under the clouds. We had more sunshine on the weekend. But we finally experienced something that a lot of other people who are carnivores have mentioned. We were out in the sun all day on Sunday and did not sunburn. Loki's always been one to sunburn. He's like Irish and Swedish or some combination like that genetically. And I have spoken of him before, saying he put the white on rice. He has sunburned, always sunburned, easier than anyone else I know. I used to sunburn occasionally, but I still never got in the habit of putting chemicals all over my skin for fear of the sun. Because I figured Dr. Barry's probably right. Humans have been playing in the sun, or out in the sun, working out in the sun, whatever, for longer than they've been human. Pretty much as long as people have stood up on their feet, stood up, looked up at the sky, looked at a bird flying and said, wish I could do that, or had an inkling of religion and said, something put me here, why am I here? You know, just whatever your brand of belief might be. You might believe people crawled down out of the trees, or fell down out of the trees, or something. Early man might have been sharpening a stick to protect himself and fallen out of the tree and onto something with that stick, and that might have been the first time somebody ate meat. I don't know, I wasn't there. But I have finally hit the carnivore benefit of seeing my husband not get a sunburn. He has got scars from previous sunburns. So this is a win. Definitely a win. And I got a comment on a post because I really, really get tired of ground beef. If it crumbles, it's like, you know, run a yoga mat through a shredder. It'll be just as pleasant. Probably. it's just, it's like so much ground up rubber. Sometimes it just doesn't taste good to me. Or I should say most of the time. I like poultry, I like rabbit, I like venison, I like elk. Those last two I hardly ever get any of. If you're in Wyoming, antelope is pretty good, but they move fast. Not everybody gets one. Okay, is there anything else I needed to think of today? I am trying to collect my thoughts. Went through the cooking gear out here. Should have grabbed the grates off the little Q grill. Need to clean up the grates on everything. Get them ready for the warm weather. The Q grill, it's small, but it works nicely. But I might want that if I go camping and fishing on the same weekend. Something to cook the fish on. There's a little bit of a breeze today, and that's okay. I just hope it doesn't blow the cover right off the smoker. But yeah, the comment I got on a post was about the fact that somebody eats 5 eggs and sardines every day. I'm not that crazy fond of sardines, but I eat tuna and salmon and other kinds of canned fish, and occasionally, not very often, but occasionally sardines. And I made sure to make polite and ask them if they do anything with them or just have them straight out of a can. I've always had my kippers straight out of a can. But the grandson got my kippers and took them to school. He's got a buddy he plays I Dare You to Eat It with. At first, he cleaned me out of canned bacon, which is shelf-stable and a lot of calories, if for some reason we were to have both refrigerators fail. And there's usually some other meats around, but I like bacon and eggs. Eggs will be okay on the counter for several days. Americans are just insanely taught to refrigerate everything. And back down the steps he goes. You're okay, buddy. Just be where I can see you. We'll probably go inside when he comes back up. I think a lot of people don't realize that so much of our food came about because refrigeration was not always an option. You want to preserve beef? Get some large grain salt and make corned beef out of it. I've made corned beef, and I did it in my refrigerator, and I was the only one that ate any of it. I've made bacon, starting with pork belly and canning and pickling salt. I'm trying to remember what kind of salt I used. And curing salt. Frog powder 1 and 2, you know. It's easy enough to do. And yes, you do have to mind what you've got so that you don't make anyone sick. But you never hear about a batch of grandma's jam making people in a 50-mile radius suffer through botulism. So many deaths at local hospital because she went out and pulled the plums off her plum tree and made jam. Nah. What we hear about is, ooh, listeria in this, or botulism in that, or contamination in something else, or oh, they changed their recipe and forgot to change their label, and now there's an allergen in it that wasn't there before. So be mindful. Do what you need to do. Read labels. Don't trust them, just read them to get a general idea. You can always look online and find out. And if you want to get something that you're afraid might be on a recall, check recalls before you go to the store. Or if you want to go through piles of peanut butter because it's cheaper than meat. I'm not eating peanut butter. It's not on a carnivore diet. But, you know what? You can get it and put it on the shelf and wait an additional week before you open it, just in case a recall comes out. And the puppy dog is back up on the deck, so I think it's time to go inside. Yep, be mindful, take care of each other, encourage one another. And remember, Scripture says 365 days, it says 365 times, do not fear. We have 366 days this year. So on the 29th, if you decide to be a little fearful about something, groovy. But, mostly don't be afraid. We are not meant to live in fear. We are supposed to get angry about things occasionally. We don't have to. We can choose a more zen approach to life. We can help one another. It's a good thing to do. But take care of yourselves and make Grandma proud. Love you.